morning, friend. That's a patient little guy right there. I woke up and there you were, sitting right over my shoulder.
Well, good morning, Lionheart. It's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles, California. It's a hot one, as usual, but I figured let's kick it off by taking Jaw over to Tail Waggers and get him a little special treat. It's a little too hot to go to the park today. And then we're gonna take off and we're gonna see the very first house that Lucille Ball from I Love Lucy bought in Hollywood, California. Daze with Jordan the Lion begins now. Well, he loved that red apple and carrot one, and we still have some, but I think I want to get him this instead, or in addition to what he already has, this turkey and sweet potato.
Now
is that good?
Which is the one that you said?
Luckily, we found an area that has quite a few trees, so there's a lot of shade to walk for a little while. Now, the house that we're gonna see today is pretty significant, not just because it was her first house in Hollywood, but this is also once she realized she had kind of at least made it to where she could afford, she sent for her family. And Lucy was extremely close with her brother Fred and her grandfather and sent for the whole family to come out, and they lived in this house. And this house, the address would actually end up splashed all over the front page of the newspapers and almost ruined Lucy's career, almost ending the I Love Lucy show. Now you might be wondering, what was it that happened to Lucy that caused her address and everything to be on the front page of the paper, almost ruined her career? She was accused of being a communist, and I'll tell you that story when we get over to the house. Yep, that's right. Lucille Ball was part of the Red Scare. Well, we've made it to the neighborhood, and you can tell just by looking at these few houses what a beautiful neighborhood it is. Now, I believe I may have misspoke. Lucy didn't actually buy this house. This was a house that she was renting. Once she got a contract with RKO, she talked her whole family, basically her mother, brother, and grandfather, into moving out here into this house. She lived with them for a few years, and then she actually moved over to Laurel Way, which I have vlogged before. Go look up vlog number 90, the death of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I go to all of his former locations here in Hollywood, and he actually lived right across the hall from her. And I actually found, when I was vlogging that, I ran into a woman who helps rent out that place, and she was able to, in that vlog, tell us how F. Scott and Lucy got along. So how this whole Red Scare business came about was, once her family moved out here, her grandfather was pretty influential in the whole family's life. He was the patriarch, and I mean, I think probably anybody that grew up with their grandfather being their father figure, you would probably tend to see where Lucy would look to him for guidance, or even if he felt strongly about something, that she would go along with it. And so the story was that he felt very strongly about being a communist, and so he was, after she moved out of here, was actually holding Communist Party meetings here. His name was Fred Hunt. But Lucy, in 1936, when they first came out here, registered as a communist on her voter's registration. And so that's what ended up basically coming back to haunt her many, many years later. She was successful doing I Love Lucy, and a few weeks before they were going into the third season, she got a call from the committee that was investigating people accused of being anti-American or communist. They asked her to come in voluntarily and meet with them, so she did. She went in there actually twice and gave interviews and told them straight up, I was not a communist, I didn't believe that, but I was doing it to appease my grandfather. That's what he wanted. And so, believe it or not, the committee believed her, and they were going to release that she had been cleared and everything. However, the problem was that before that could happen, Walter Winchell, who had a newspaper article out here, mentioned that she had been accused of it, put it out there in the papers, which got all the papers then investigating, and the next thing you know, there was a big headline on the cover of the LA Chronicle saying that Lucy was red, and all of a sudden everybody was up in arms. They didn't know what to do. Her and Daze were like completely, you know, hit sideways from this. She honestly didn't even remember that she had done that, or it had been put out of her mind. It had been so long. And so the first time that she came to rehearse for the next season of I Love Lucy, there were actually people out front protesting, and which got her into a pretty upset mental state, to where she was having a hard time focusing during the rehearsals. And then when it came time to film it, she hadn't given any interviews because she was afraid she might accidentally say something they could twist or misconstrue into making her a communist. Even though she'd been cleared, she still had to win over the people and hope. And you know, this day and age, let's be honest, even the threat of it and them publishing her voter's registration with this address and her handwriting saying she planned to vote communist in the next election, you know, it's very possible in my mind that it was one of those situations where she may not have been politically inclined at all and was doing it to give, like, you know, her grandfather an extra vote because he did feel comfortable, or he did feel strongly about the Communist Party being the best thing. So they went and started rehearsing regardless, and they actually toyed with the idea of maybe not filming it in front of a live audience because they didn't know if they were going to heckle her or boo or what they were going to do, but they also thought that may be an admission of guilt, and the last thing we want to do is do anything that could hurt us even further. So they decided to go ahead and film the way that they had planned to, and Daze went out and did an introduction, and basically what he did was he came out and said, look, we all know what is in the news right now. We all know what's on everybody's mind, so let's just confront it now. Lucy is not a communist. She's never been a communist. I came from Cuba. I fled communism. There's no way. We both voted for Eisenhower. And they said that the crowd sided with Daze, and he won them over. His voice was crackling. He said she's as American as Dwight D. Eisenhower. And they said that people started cheering and everything, and Lucy was watching off to the side and was like clapping, well, not clapping, but she was like sobbing and was, you know, kind of relieved that everybody was on her side, but they didn't know how the fans would react when she was announced. So when Daze came time to announce her, he kind of cracked a joke and said, here she is, the woman I love, Lucille Ball, my wife. The only thing red about her is her hair, and even that's fake. And when she came out to a standing ovation. People loved her more than ever. And the fact that they actually had proof, they had something on the cover of the newspaper saying that she identified herself as a communism, she fought through that and got people to believe her, and went on to be what some consider to be the most influential woman comedian of all time, and definitely one of, if not the greatest television sitcom of all time, I Love Lucy. And it's pretty crazy that something that, you know, she was trying to keep her family together and trying to, you know, keep that foundation from New York and bring it out here, and it created a whole lot of problems that almost ended her career. By all accounts, this pretty much went away. It never came back up later in life. They never reaccused her, and in fact, interviews that her brother Fred did, he confirmed everything she said. He said, look, our grandfather was our father figure, and he was an extremely influential person in our life, and we did what he said, and that's, you know, her and I both registered as communists, but we weren't communists. So there you go. The story of how Lucy was involved and had the Red Scare. Now, like I said, go back and look for my vlog number 90 about the death of F. Scott Fitzgerald, because like I said, I not only show the apartment building that Lucy and F. Scott lived across the hall, but we also end up right in front of a building that Lucy and Daze owned together. And like I said, we run into a lady who helps rent those apartments out, and she ends up telling us the whole story of that apartment that they owned and what happened to the name, the sign that used to be there. Pretty fascinating vlog, if I do say so myself, so go check it out. Vlog number 90. You know, I honestly can't believe she beat that and that it didn't hurt her career more. I mean, when you hear about the Fatty Arbuckle scandal and just anything, if you were accused or investigated by the Committee of Un-American Activities, I mean, I would It's almost impossible to believe that you could beat that, and that just goes to show how likable and how much people connected with her. Good on you, Lucy. And what a great neighborhood for Lucy to move her family into. Apparently online it says that they lived here for quite a few years after Lucy moved out and got her own apartment and everything. Well, let's make one more stop. Well, for season 3 of I Love Lucy, they had moved over to here, what is now Red Studios. They originally filmed the first 2 seasons a few blocks away, and they had rented out this for season 3, and this is where the protesters were standing when Lucy showed up to start rehearsing that episode. So I thought, you know, we should come by here and at least take a look. And I have vlogged this in completion. If you look up Red Studios or I Love Lucy, you'll probably find it on my channel where I go into detail about all the things that were filmed here over time. It's a hot one, isn't it, buddy? Good to see ya. You're sitting there in your little bed chilling out. It's so hot, huh? Oops, we forgot to do this today. Well, we're gonna have to restart the whole vlog since I forgot to turn the lights on. I'll just erase what I've already done. Kidding. I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna go hop on the train. I know it's hot and everything, but I'm gonna hop on the train because I wanna go hit a couple of Ross. I'm looking for a, I don't know, I'm looking for a couple of things, but I figured there's like 2 Rosses right off the train stop, and I'm tired of driving. I don't feel like driving, so let's go do it. Need to get a new beard trimmer. Went to turn it on yesterday and it wouldn't work. Alright, let's see what they got. Hopefully we'll be in luck. So I'm trying out some new shoes while I'm in here, just to see if there's any I like, and you're probably sitting here going, Jesus man, you and your shoes, how many shoes do you need? Well, since I'm taking off out of town, I look down and check out the shoes that I was gonna wear on the trip. They're breaking apart. So my concern is I don't want to be traveling with shoes that might eventually break on me or hurt me, so I'm looking to see if there's anything better here. I love the looks of these, but I think I could probably use like a half size bigger, unfortunately, and they don't have a half size bigger. Not in that same color anyway. This is a different color of the same shoes, and it's a full size bigger, so we'll see if they're too big or if they fit. Oh wow, these Skechers are really comfortable. My concern is I'm wondering how good the traction will be if I end up in rain on cobblestone. I think I'm gonna get these. These are the cheapest pair out of all of them, and I think they'll work. I'm gonna find out a price on this one since there's no price, it's been ripped off. I don't know what's going on with this neighborhood, but I'm seeing a lot of like anti-Nazi stuff. I didn't realize we had a huge problem with it around here. So what I ended up doing was I ended up getting both pair. I actually found a bigger pair. After I was almost giving up and ready to go, I found a bigger pair. These were only $30 and these were $35. I haven't taken the tags off that yet, so I'll, if I really like these a lot and don't care about those, then I'll return those before I wear them. I just know I'll probably enjoy those a lot, and I got those just in case, so yeah. I'll wear them out no matter what, so it's worth it. Poor guy. It's only midday and he's got to do this. Too hot for him to go out and do anything. That's alright. Yesterday we took you to the park and you got to play for over an hour at the end of the night. So we'll do the same thing today. Right about 6:30 we'll head over and you can play with your buddies. Snow White cottages. Check out that painting up there. All right, we've made it. He's got the chase going. Oh, he's fighting. There he goes. He's a little rocket that keeps shooting. There he goes again. I just looked over and he's over on that table over there taking a break. Somehow I've become the battle mat here.
No boundaries.
Yep, none.
I understand.
Why don't you get down on the ground and play? Now it's really hopping out here. There's, it looks like about, I don't know, 10, 15 dogs out here right now. Pretty good. Well, we're all done at the park. Now he likes to come over and lay in the grass and rolling around. Just belly flops on his side. Good job, Ja. You worked hard today. Well, guys, I want to send a big shout out thank you to Kathy Andrews for becoming my newest Patreon and making a contribution to my channel. Anyone else that'd like to, the links are in the description box below. Give her a little dance for doing that for us, guys. What do you say? Well, good evening, Lionhearts. We're going to call it a night. If you never heard any of this, that Lucy was involved in being named a communist, now you do. I know, that's not something I ever grew up ever hearing, and I stumbled upon that a couple of years ago, and then something refreshed my memory over the last year, and just kind of been holding off, and I figured today's the day. Now, you know what's crazy is if any of you watch Casey Neistat's vlogs, you'll probably have noticed that the other day Will Smith was on there. Well, after that, I started looking around, and Will Smith is vlogging. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Will Smith is now vlogging. If that doesn't tell you where the future of media is going, I don't know what to say. I mean, one of the biggest movie stars in the last 20 years is now taken to this art form. Pretty interesting. So there you go. We're gonna turn off the sign and call it a night. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, and goodbye. I mean, good night.